Without that, they cannot even exist, for example. The Son could not exist without the Father.
There's no way I can convince you.
So, no, it's not about convincing me. It's about whether you realize what you're believing is not the truth. Because the truth would be the question I'm asking you is this. Before the universe was created, you believe the Son of God existed with the Father.
Yes.
I am asking you very simply, is the Son of God, for his own existence, dependent on the Father, or is he independent of the Father?
They're not independent, they're one, they're united. Father, Son.
Do you understand what I mean by independent and dependent?
Yes.
The example I give you about between this father and son. This son is totally dependent on the Father, not independent of him. So what I'm asking you is to tell us, is Jesus the Son of God in your belief?
Yes.
Independent of the Father?
No, well, he was with God. He was always with God.
So the answer is what? Independent or not?
No. They were
So he's dependent.
dependent on each other. They belong, they're part and parcel of
So he was dependent on the Father.
Yes.
Do you know anyone who's dependent cannot be God in any way, shape or form? God is the only being who is absolutely independent. Any being who is seen to be dependent cannot be God. Okay, look, it's not about Quran. Our human intellect, our rationality, our reason tells us anything that is dependent on something else, whatever they're dependent on, without that they cannot even exist, for example. The Son could not exist without the Father.
There's no way I can convince you.
So no, it's not about convincing me. It's about whether you realize what you're believing is not the truth. Because the truth would be in accordance with sense. Your belief must make sense. When you realize the Son of God is not independent of the Father, then he cannot be God. Because God has to be independent. Has to be, by necessity. By necessity, God has to be absolute. By necessity, God has to be perfect. Any being who is dependent is imperfect.
Jesus was perfect.
Is Jesus
The
perfect?
only perfect man.
No. Is he perfect God?
Perfect man, perfect God, yes.
He cannot be perfect God because he's dependent. He is not.
There
Okay.
was one, he that has not seen me has seen.
Is the Son of God?
Me has seen the Father.
Okay.
That's what Jesus said.
Let's test it. Is the Son of God self-sufficient? That he doesn't need the Father or the Holy Spirit for him to exist? Is he self-sufficient?
I'm not a theologian.
But the answer
by the
is,
Bible.
He's not. Because the Bible and your church fathers tells you Jesus Christ, or the second member of the Trinity, the second person of the Trinity, is not self-sufficient.
No, he was always dependent on God.
Exactly. Then he's not all.
Everything he wanted to do
Then
as a human being.
thank you. And he's always not God. Never can be God.
Then
Because
now he's sitting at the right hand of God.
look.
He's praying for you and me.
If he is not God, then it is really not sensible for people to worship him along with God.
He is God. God in three persons.
He cannot be God because he's not perfect and self-sufficient.
That's the end. He was.
Do you not agree that he's not self-sufficient?
He was dependent on. He was one
Then,
with the Father.
if he's dependent, he's not God. How difficult is it? Why is it difficult for you to understand that? Do you accept? Okay. Can there be any greater being than God? There cannot be. Can there be any greater being than Jesus? Do you agree? Can there be anyone greater than Jesus? Can there be anyone greater than Jesus? You cannot have anyone greater than God. But Jesus has someone greater than him. So how can he be God? Simple. Simple. You know, this gentleman is, quite elderly in his age, and still knowing the truth is not willing to accept it. I mean, what can we do? May Allah guide the gentleman and those of you who are accepting this kind of belief system to guide you to truth, to realize truth is not there. Truth is in worshipping God alone, and that you will find only in Islam. only in the final revelation called the Quran through the final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa akhir dawana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Hope this video was helpful for you. This may help others too, so please consider sharing, and we will bring more videos in the future inshallah. So consider subscribing and you won't miss any. Jazakallahu khairan.